Start your project with a simple cube. Now go to the side view by clicking this red button. Drag and drop the chair blueprint from your folder. Now place it like this. Press G to move the cube. Go to Edit mode by pressing the Tab key. You can switch vertex, edge, and face modes by clicking these icons. Go to wireframe mode by clicking this icon. Now select these vertices and press G to move the vertices. After pressing the G key, press the Y key to move vertices along the Y-axis. Now press G and then press Z to move vertices along the Z-axis. Select these vertices and press E to extrude vertices. Press R to rotate vertices. Now using the loop cut tool, add a loop cut. The shortcut key is Ctrl R. Let's move these vertices along the x-axis. Select these vertices, right-click and separate them. It will separate the vertices as a new mesh. Now go to the Modifiers tab and add a subdivision surface modifier. Increase the level's viewport count. 2 is a good value in most cases. Using Loop Cut tool, add loop cuts. The shortcut key is Ctrl R. For this part, do the same thing. Add subdivision surface modifier and then loop cuts. Now select these faces. Go to the Extrude tool. Click and drag the plus button. Or press E to extrude and then press the Escape key to put the extruded faces in the same location. Now go to the Shrink tool and shrink the extruded faces. In the Options menu, turn on Offset Even. Go to Edge mode and select these edges. Move them inside a little bit. Add some loop cuts here. Use the mouse wheel to define the number of loop cuts. We don't need to do the same thing this mesh. Delete the faces. Select these faces and duplicate them. Then press Y to move the faces along the Y-axis. Move these objects along the X-axis a little bit. Apply location to both objects. Go to wireframe mode and select these faces. Press Shift D to duplicate faces and then press Escape to put the duplicated faces in the same location. Right-click and separate the selection. Delete this subdivision surface modifier for now. Add a Solidify modifier. Turn on Even Thickness. Put a proper minus value for thickness. Then apply the modifier. Add a subdivision surface modifier. Add some loop cuts. For a better modeling experience, let's go to the local view. It will hide the other objects. You can select these edges and slide them if you like. Now you can exit from the local view. Add a polygon cube. Go to Edit mode. Move these edges. We don't need these faces. So delete them. Add some loop cuts. Now add a subdivision surface modifier. Add another cube. Add some loop cuts. Move the vertices. Add a subdivision surface modifier. Move these faces to the left side of the model and delete them. Add a mirror modifier. Move down the subdivision surface modifier, so it affects after the mirror modifier. Turn on clipping. Now you can move the vertices. Select this mesh and the blueprint. Go to the local view. Add some loop cuts. Select these faces. Inset the faces using the Inset tool. Select these faces. Now, right-click and separate them. Go to Edge mode. Select these edges. Extrude along the x-axis. Select the other object. Select the outer edges. Extrude them along the x-axis. Inset these faces. Select both objects and join them. Now exit from the local view. Duplicate this object. Press the Escape key to put the duplicated object in the same place. Now go to Edit mode and press R to rotate the faces. Move the faces. Now I'm going to select all the objects and go to Edit mode. Width of the chair is not enough, so I'm going to move the vertices along the x-axis. Add a mirror modifier. Select these objects and join them. Add a mirror modifier. We don't need the blueprint as we have done all the modeling part, so delete it. Add a mirror modifier to this object too. Select all the objects and apply Shade Smooth. Now we are going to add materials to the chair. Go to the shading workspace. Select this object and add a new material. Add an image texture. Now open a proper texture for the seat. I got this leather texture from textures.com. Add the same material to the other seat as well. Add a texture coordinate node. Add a vector mapping node. Connect the nodes like this. Select box mapping for the texture. I'm going to scale down the texture a little bit. We are using object texture coordinate input as we didn't unwrap the model. Add RGB to the black and white node. Add a color mix node. Set factor value to 1. For the mixing option, choose multiply. Now you can change the color as per your preference. Add a color ramp node. Connect it to the texture node and to the roughness channel. Black means 0 roughness and white means full roughness. So we have to invert the color ramp node. Adjust the positions of the black and white arrows. Add another color ramp node. Add a bump node. Connect the nodes like this. You can tweak the settings as per your reference. Select this object and create a new material. Choose light gray color as the basic color. Set the metallic value to 1. Decrease the roughness. Add a black material to this object. For this object, choose the same leather material. Now it's time to render the chair. Now I'm going to move up the chair a little bit. Apply the location. As my chair is too large, I'm going to scale it down. Apply the scale. Since I scaled down the chair, I have to increase the scale of the texture. Add a plane. This will be the ground. Scale it up. Extrude this edge along the Z-axis. Select this edge, right-click and click Bevel Edges. Or you can use the shortcut key, Ctrl-B. Use the mouse wheel to define segments. Add a new material. Select a gray color. Apply Shade Smooth. Let's decrease the roughness. Create another plane. This will be the main light source. Add a new material. Choose Emission Shader. Increase the strength value. Now go to the render mode. Choose Cycles. Let's increase the roughness of the ground plane. Now duplicate the light plane. Rotate it and place it in front of the chair. Duplicate it again. These lights are visible in the render. So we have to disable the visibility of the lights, only for the render. Go to the Object Properties. Under Visibility, turn off the camera. Do this to all lights. Now lights will not show up on the camera, but the chair will receive all the light rays emitted from the 3 lights. Now add a camera. Go to View, Cameras, and click on the active camera. Place the camera as per your preference. You can tweak the render settings. I'm using GPU compute. Under Memory, I would choose a lower number for the tile size. Now you can render your chair. Go to Render, and Render Image.